Welcome to Are We Old? The show featuring two comedians getting nostalgic and tackling life's toughest question. Are we old? Here's your hosts, Mike Finoia and Charles McBee.
Merry Christmas from the Are We Old factory here in the North Pole. This is Mike Finoia.
Your intros should be studied.
Buon
like
Natale!
You intro like you're falling off a cliff, like you're sliding down a cliff. Hey, it's us again. What's up, everybody?
Avenge my dad.
Yo, what's up, old heads? What's going on? It's Charles McBee, Mike Finoia. REO, we back, baby. Merry Christmas.
It's Christmas here in the city and in the country and wherever you're listening. Unless Canada.
You are jolly.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm feeling, I got that little kid, like, Christmas break started. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That first day of like, oh, I don't have to go to school. No more of this.
Yeah, man.
No homework for a week. Do you remember? First of all, everyone, thank you so much for listening, sharing. The comments have been great. We're going to go over them and go through some fun stuff over at patreon.com/Are We Old podcast. Keep following at Are We Old on the socials. Like, share, subscribe, rate, review. Go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. The more you guys do that, the more appealing it is for cool guests that we have in mind to come hang with us. So no pressure, but do your part, you know?
Mm-hmm.
We need to, the throat lozenges don't pay for themselves, if you know what I'm saying, folks.
It sounds like...
Did you like that?
I don't know. It sounds like a threat just now.
Charles, do you remember when you were a kid and you would look at the calendar and you'd be able to determine whether or not Christmas break was going to be a 1 week break or a 2 week break? Every now and then there'd be that crazy anomalous experience where Christmas fell on like it would tip the scale towards like, let's just give them Thursday and Friday off too. And you would get 2 full weeks off. Do you remember this?
I don't remember. I remember it always being, because I think at least where I grew up, it was always at least 2 weeks that I remember.
What?
Yeah, on average, I remember it being like, because spring break was a week. Thanksgiving obviously was like the 2 days and then the weekend. Or maybe it was like, maybe we started on that Wednesday. I can't remember. But like
half day Wednesday.
Yeah, halfway Wednesday. But Christmas break was, it was 2 weeks. We would rock out for 2 weeks.
That is bonkers. You know what? I'm mad. If I had a DeLorean, I'd go back and slap my principal in the face.
Grew up in Ohio, bud.
I guess so. There was times where we had, I think, what do we have? The 23rd was a half day, December 23rd. And we'd have Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, whenever the following days to January 2nd. Right?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we wouldn't have 2 full weeks off. There was times where it fell where we would get like basically a week and a half. If the calendar was like, if it was like the beginning of the week, say Christmas was on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Those crap weeks, like once or twice in my life, I was like, we got hosed. But you're telling me no matter what, you had 2 full weeks off around Christmas?
Around
SOB?
Christmas. Yeah, man. It was
Piece
around Christmas time. We got like 2 weeks. It was, by the time we came back, it was like, where am I?
You
what
had
is
a beard.
This?
Women had breasts. It was crazy.
It was crazy times, man.
You're like, I started smoking and quit.
I do know what pissed me off, though. I remember when they started tacking on days at the end of the year based on how many snow days you had. Like there was like a limit of snow days, and then they were like, after you reached like a limit, they started tacking them on at the end of the year, and I was like, this is we're storm the Capitol. We there was almost an insurrection.
Yeah, buddy.
Then.
Yeah. That principal was, good thing he wasn't having a board meeting at 6 a.m.
Oh my gosh!
I'll tell you what, too. That was when I think I started getting political. You know what I mean? I'm like, we got to get a petition together. We got to put feet on the street. It is June 19th. It's June 19th. I'm sweating. I'm sticking to the back of my chair here. I'm going through puberty. I need to be in air conditioning or a pool right now.
I might as well be in summer school.
What the hell is this?
What the hell is this?
Hey, it's not my fault. I didn't make it snow. It's not my fault your plow guys are too, tired to plow the route to the school, or these bus drivers can't handle. Man, Otto and the Simpsons would drive through a blizzard up Mount Springfield.
I don't understand. You grew up. I'm looking at them like you grew up with snow days. Now you're punishing what Grinch?
Oh,
talk
Charles.
About the Grinch that stole Christmas. The Grinch that stole snow days.
Summer. According to them
summer.
too. Yeah, it's almost like what is it? You pay for it now, you enjoy it now, you pay for it later, kind of thing. Also, weren't these this is the generation that uphill both ways with no socks, and they had to make their shoes out of construction paper, and carrying their siblings on their shoulders because mom couldn't afford a car. Oh, but now you're taking away my summer vacay because there's not enough salt in the town.
Unbelievable.
Eat it. I'll be in the park. I'll be on my slip and slide. If you need me, call my phone. You're gonna get voicemail. I'll call you back Labor Day weekend when we open up again for business. But for now, it's freezy pops and sprinklers.
Or did I miss class? Tack it on to next year.
Yeah. Put it on my bill.
Put it on my tab.
Put it on my student loans that you're making me take. Fucking these kids. We should start
on my permanent record.
Yeah. We should start a school, Charles.
You've been threatening me with since the second grade. That means it's dick.
What would be the first law that you would instill in your school if you were Charles McBee Elementary School? You're the principal. You're the owner. We now privatize schools. It's Charles's school.
Oh, man. First law?
It could be a fun law, too,
No. Oh, trust me. It's all going to be fun laws. I would take away homework because I feel like homework is pointless.
Do it while you're there.
We get it in while we're there. Who gives a fuck about taking it home and doing whatever? You don't care. I don't care. It's more work on the teachers. Teachers are stressed the hell out over the weekend, grading papers and shit. Learn while you're there.
Agreed.
Also, I'd take away a lot of, and this might be too adulty and less funny, but from my adult POV, but I'd just take away like the whole new math. What the fuck? Why? I'm sorry. Do numbers not add up the same as they did 30 years ago,
buddy? Yeah.
Why did they keep updating math? It's math. There's one. Mike, tell me this, and then maybe I'm delusional. Maybe I'm just I've been out of the game for a while. Does 1 + 1 still equal 2?
I mean, last time I checked. Let me check my Apple phone that does my math for me now. Hey, let me ask you a question, Charles. When's the last time you looked at graph paper? Have you had to find the slope or y-intercept of a axis or whatever the hell that shit was? What a waste of time.
Let me grab my Texas calculator.
Your TI-82? Can I ask you something? Do you know how to do taxes?
No.
Okay. Do you know how to measure ounces, millimeter, whatever, metric?
You're speaking Chinese right now. I don't even know. No.
Well, soon that's going to be a class too. Well, here's the thing, Charles. I don't know shit about shit. And all I wanted in school for math class was just to know this is a 1/4 inch screw. This is a 1/2 inch. This is 3/4. This is 5/8, whatever. How do you tip? You double the first number. Class dismissed. Okay?
That's it.
That's it. That's all I need to know. I don't need to know X with the little freaky check over it equals MX plus B. Leave me alone.
Those should be electives. Like if you want to go, hey Einstein, you want to go to MIT? Fine. Sign
Intro
up
to geek. Oh, I'm taking 2 nerd classes this year.
Yeah.
You want to know what I took? Woodshop.
Yeah, do it on your own time.
Do it on your own time.
With my life.
Yep, exactly. Those are cool rules. I like your rules.
Yeah, I like yours too. Some life classes.
Well, life classes. Here's another rule that I would have that I think would make the school super fun. Graffiti inside the building, mandatory.
Yeah.
So art as an art installation, okay? We open up every single wall of the school to tagging and graffiti art, but it's going to be with a purpose. So if it's in like Italian class, we had a kid in my high school that did he was a phenomenal artist. And he did the back wall of our Italian class as like a Michelangelo painting. Like he redid the painting, and it made going to that class so much more fun.
Yeah.
Because I was stoned, and I'd stare at I would just look at he hid like the members of Led Zeppelin in the picture. He put our teacher in the picture. Like he hid things, and it was so cool, and it made it more fun to be there instead of that shit paint, the white nauseating paint.
Hospital.
Dude, white hospital paint.
One that flew over the cuckoo's nest paint.
Yes, you're looking out the window like, I got to get out of here. And the lights, those yellow buzzing lights.
Yeah.
That would just like shine it would make it like nauseatingly green paint.
Mm-hmm.
So graffiti the hell out of the walls. Okay. And it's almost like a reward versus a punishment type thing where it's like, if you like get a certain grade or you like, whatever, you get to tag the wall in that hallway, or you get to design the art installation. So like, let's make the school something that we're proud of. You know what I mean? And everyone's involved. I think that'd be a rule. And then I also think mandatory naps all the way through high school.
So we used to have mandatory naps. I went to a private school in my
2 weeks off, mandatory naps. Ohio?
Wait a minute. So I went to a private school, like kindergarten through 4th grade. And I remember in kindergarten and was it 1st grade? Maybe, I don't fucking know. But we had mandatory nap time, and we resented it as kids because we were kids. We didn't understand what naps were back then. Now, they should be mandatory naps now.
Now, you shouldn't have had naps when you were in kindergarten and 1st grade. You should have been cutting the lawn.
Yeah.
Roofing the building, like washing dishes. When you've got all that expendable energy, you tell a kid, yo, I don't want you to wash the dishes. They'll wash the dishes. From the teachers should have got mandatory naps because they were hungover. They were wondering how they're going to pay their bills. They're regretting the mistakes they made last night at karaoke with the other teacher.
You know what those were called? 7-Up game.
Yeah. Oh my God. You just unlocked, dude. Serotonin is dripping right now.
That's the mandatory nap right there. Your
Heads
teacher,
up, 7-Up.
Your teacher played 7-Up. She had a hangover.
Shut the lights off. We never played 7-Up with the lights on.
No, of course. Crazy.
That was this is when like social anxiety disorder began, where you would have to lay there with your eyes closed and your head on the desk and go, I wonder if my friends are going to pick me. And if you went through the whole thing, a couple rounds and no one picked you, you're like, what's wrong with my thumb? How come they don't want to touch my thumb? Do I have cooties? Am I not worth picking?
Good old social anxiety.
Yeah, this was the beginning of the caste system as a child. This was when we started to get disorders and anxiety about stuff like this. Like musical chairs always gave me anxiety too, because it's like, why are we making music bad? Like, those are my two favorite things, music and sitting. Like, can't we just all work together and find one more chair, and then we can all just sit and enjoy this song together?
Let's just why does one? Yeah, it is the whole one person has to be excluded. Someone's getting excluded games. Duck, duck, goose.
Duck, duck, goose, dude. Yeah.
Somebody's not it. Yeah, somebody's it. Somebody's not it. Yeah, I guess depending on where your social hierarchy was, it could be a little intimidating.
Oh, and if the captain of the team had beef with you because of you wouldn't trade fruit snacks at lunch or whatever, and then you're at recess and you get picked last for kickball or whatever, It ruined your day, man. That was a
Yeah.
sad ride home on the bus.
That getting picked last, man. I'm interested. There should be a study done with like adults who were habitually picked last for social activities like that. Like,
Well, why are we waiting for someone else to do it? Let's do it.
yeah.
Maybe the new administration will give us a grant to do a study on people who were picked last. We'll call it the Loser Project. They'll love it.
I was about to solicit our old heads, but now that it's called the Loser Project, I don't know if they'll volunteer.
We'll call it the Old Heads Project, but sometimes it's perception is reality. If we got to get that grant money, we got to go. Hey, it's called blah blah blah, and they'll go, oh, here's a blank check. You two, go do it.
Go do it.
Hey, but Charles, you know what?
What?
It's Christmas Eve. Okay, we're not in school right now. We are home tomorrow. Well, tonight Santa comes, so let's go back to Christmas. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we are in our house. It's evening of Christmas Eve. Are we getting together with family? Is this where we split? Is this where the McBees? We go visit Mama McBee, and tomorrow's the other side of the family. How was the split ski? How did it work out?
You nailed it right on the head. Christmas
She made
Eve,
good food.
Christmas Eve, we'd be at mom's side of the family. Christmas Day, dad's side of the family. So Christmas Eve was granny, granddad, et cetera, et cetera. And then Christmas Day was Grandma Mac, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I like that name.
Yeah. That's how we did it. How'd you guys do it?
Was one of those hangs more boring and adult, and the other one was more fun with kids?
Yes. The hang at Granny Granddad's was more fun because that's where we got our Santa's gifts. So
on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. So did we get
Ohio is a special state.
No, you're right. We didn't get Santa's gift. We got Santa's gifts Christmas morning, but Christmas Eve was when we got like mom, dad's gifts and stuff, which was separate from Santa's gifts. So you're right. But I got more cousins on that side. So it'd be more cousins, so it'd be like more kids, that kind of stuff. So it was more catered towards kids.
Gotcha.
Whereas Grandma Mac, it was all adults except for me and my sister and my cousin. So it was 3 of us until other cousins came along later, but like we were older by then.
Yeah.
And so it was a little more adult. I mean, it's still fun, still love, whatever. But yeah, it was way more kid catered at the night before. Yeah.
That's neat. So I had the opposite.
Okay.
My Christmas Eve was at my dad's side. My Aunt Donna and my Uncle Bill. Rest in peace, Uncle Bill. Good dude. Great dude. Their house was like, dude, you ever go into a house that feels like a Christmas village or like a Hallmark store or whatever, where it's just like, you just want to lay on the ground and take a nap? Like, it's just so cozy, comfy.
Yeah.
Like it just had like the right smells, the right color paint on the wall. It was like a very like rich burgundy kind of red color with like white trim. And he was like a collector he was in the Navy. So he had like all these like old like ships everywhere and like figureheads on the wall and stuff like that. And he had this room. He was our only, my grandfather had one when I was a kid, but I don't really remember using it much, but he had a fireplace. And I was always like, this was when the beginning of my pyromania, I think, began, because I was like, can I start the fire? And he's like, yeah. And I'd have to crumple up the newspapers and cram it underneath the grate, and we'd open the flue and go get the wood on the front deck and all this. And then we'd get it going with those big matches that you'd like hit the bricks with, and it would start up and get that fire nice and cooking. And my job is kind of to keep the fire going. Now, this uncle had a super cool thing that I'm so grateful I got to play with this. He had a ham radio, an old like Army ham radio.
Oh, cool.
It had a dial on one side that was like the size of like a teacup. Like the thing was massive, right? And you could turn that to all the different bands. And then the other one, you'd go, and it would go through all these different channels all over the world, dude. So Christmas Eve, I'm listening to like London, like London radio, and they're doing like, Charles Dickens, Scrooge and Marley and all that, but like with the British, like,
just great, the best way.
Oh my God. And old radio where they're doing like, and there was a knock at the door and you hear like,
yeah,
right. And you walked up the stairs and you hear like all that shit, dude. And it, like you could, and I'd lay there and I could still feel like right now I'm thinking about it. Like you could feel the heat from the fire just laying there. Like everyone would just kind of meander into that room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. And it just like, it was like you were inside the house that everybody else put in the window.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just this nice, warm, cozy atmosphere. And the neighborhood that they lived in was like a sleepy little neighborhood. So you can like, after you eat way too much, and that's like I'm Italian on all sides, but that was like very pasta, lasagna, like, ham, whatever, bread to the disgusting levels. And you just go walk it off, kind of, fart in other people's yards and stuff, but you just kind of walked it off in the neighborhood, and it was so nice. And you get a little chill, then you come back and hang near the fire. So that was Christmas Eve. And I just always remember the drive back from there to wherever we were living as like the Christmas is tomorrow morning. Like, so it was almost kind of like a little bit of like a first set to like the second set was more exciting, because like Christmas morning was great, but Christmas Day was when we celebrated with like my mom's side. So Christmas morning was when I was a kid, when I was an only child for the first 8 years, it was like kick ass. I was the only kid. And then I'd bring all my shit outside and play with all the other kids and, whatever. But what was really fun was when my siblings got there, I kind of like helped facilitate for them more. So it's when it stopped. So Christmas kind of stopped being about me at like 9. And then it just kind of became about them. But I had fun helping them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool.
Now I want Christmas to be about me again, though. You know what I mean? Now that they're all grown up.
Block on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna like call them and be like, "Yo, fucking help me. You guys owe me a couple decades of Christmases." But then we would go to my mom's side of the family, and it was always a blast. It was just a bunch of like, everyone was nuts, loud, lights on, music playing, sports, kids running around, fucking, just tons of snacks everywhere, and various different like stuffed breads and cool games we would play and stuff. And it was a hoot. It was just like, and those are ones that like, again, I think that like the moments that I remember the most, and I think we talked about it the other day, is like where I look back on it, and that 2 hours, 3 hours that we were there, 4 hours, seems like a month.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? Like when you're there, you got like, I don't know, like a full football game in, you took a nap, you got up, you ate 10 things, you hugged your grandmother 1,000 times. And then it's like, wow, I'm exhausted. What a day. You feel like you went to Disney World,
Yeah. It was a whole to do.
Yeah, it really was.
It was all to do. And the lead up, that's the thing, is like Christmas more than any other holiday. The lead up, man. I mean, my God, it was just like you're building up to it, building up to it, building up to it. I mean, I feel like nowadays it's just like, as an adult, you're like, fuck, Christmas is when? Tomorrow.
Dude.
It's just like,
I know.
And but back then it was just like, when's Christmas? Like, it's July. Like, relax. It's like, oh my God, come on.
When would you start making your list?
Oh, I'd start, well, my birthday is in July. So I'd probably start my list around like Halloween.
Whatever you didn't get for your birthday.
Yeah. It would be like, you're like, all right, whatever I didn't get, now let's move these things over to the Christmas list. Yeah. I mean, God help all the kids whose birthdays fall around Christmas time. I don't know. I don't know how you guys survive. I really don't.
I think about that too. I have a couple friends that were like the 26th, and it's like, ugh, that's the most forgotten day of the year. Oh, December 26th.
Poor bastard.
Thoughts and prayers, T's and P's to all of you 26th kids. What about how did you make your list? Were you a Sears catalog? Did you used to go through the Sears catalog? Do you remember those babies?
Of course.
Big fatty.
Of course. I used to go through the Sears catalog, but I never got any gift ideas from the Sears catalog. I was pretty in the know on
You knew what you
was
wanted.
out. Yeah. It was back then. Back then, commercials were commercials.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah.
You know what I
couldn't
mean?
Skip them.
The commercials, you couldn't skip them, and they weren't niche. Nowadays, advertising agencies, because everything is social media and everything is, they find people where they are.
Right.
And so they niche it to specific groups here and there or whatnot. But back then, prior to social media and prior to social advertising, your commercial, you had to swing for the fences because you were lobbing it out at the masses. So you really had to be extra creative. So that's why commercials suck today. Not to get in my nerd bag, but that's why commercial advertising sucks now. And like everybody keeps complaining about Super Bowl commercials suck today, et cetera, et cetera. Because back then, when you made a commercial, it was going out to millions of people, and you had to swing for everybody.
Spraying and praying is what they call it.
You
sprayed and you prayed. You put it out there and you said, I hope that every kid wants the Castle Grayskull.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they go, yo, everybody's getting in-ground pools this year because Castle Grayskull hit.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
No, that's very true. And it's so this is an Are We Old moment for both of us. We both grew up, we grew up in a time where algorithm wasn't even a word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There wasn't targeted, oh, you clicked on this exercise bike, so now we're going to send you Peloton ads till you swear off exercising or buy the bike. Right. You know what I mean? You just go like, oh my God, enough is enough. I'll buy the Dr. Squatch soap. Jesus Christ. And then you buy it and you try it and you're like, you smell like the vitamin aisle at Whole Foods for an hour and then you smell like onions. But yeah, we didn't have targeted BS. You got circulars in the mail and you looked at the kid holding the Huffy and you went, I want to be as happy as that kid. I need a Huffy. Mm-hmm. And you cut out little things. And I used to add visual aids to my list. I would. You want to know what I did? No, I mean, it's insane. I'm literally getting like, it's like fireworks.
Storyboard.
Buddy, page number, item number, where it was on the page. I mean, like when I was doing like I would go, Ma, here's my list. And it would be inside page 1 of the Sears catalog, page 89, color, blue, beep, boop, bop, SKU number, you name it. And I would put stars next to like 2 stars if I really wanted it, and whatever.
That's hilarious.
I think I got much of it, but it was fun to pick. Sometimes the wanting is better than the getting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'd go through and be like, oh man, I'd really love this, quad or this whatever. And it was funny because as you got older and you started to go through, I remember looking at the prices of things. Remember? I wanted a pool table real bad when I was a kid. I don't know why. What, I want to open a fucking sports bar? But I just had no understanding of dude,
of course,
a pool table? Where are we going to put it?
So funny enough, I wanted a pool table and we got a pool table, but it wasn't a proper big time pool table. Do you remember? You may not remember. Do you remember was it Fisher Price? I don't know if Fisher Price did it, but it was a pool table that converted into a ping pong table that converted into an air hockey that converted into a pin. I
remember that toy.
Yeah. We got one of those. We put it. It was like right smack in the middle of the living room. Me and my sister went crazy on that thing. That thing was a practical toy or gift because I got pretty good at pool with that fucking thing. So
did it have actual cues? Was it full size?
It wasn't full size. The table wasn't standard you would go into a bar. It was a smaller table, but it still had cues and I think the balls were smaller too.
Yeah,
but you could still you could still learn how to play. It was
you
good.
got on you got on it's in the way that you use it. You're just putting your
Yep.
candy cigarette, putting your
That's
candy
right.
cigarette on the thing, and
That's
that's
right.
amazing, dude. Yeah, I didn't get one. But we I was big into like just anything to get me outside. Skateboarding. I sucked at it. I had like lead legs, but I was just like anything to just ride away. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I was just like,
That's hilarious.
give me anything with wheels that I could just take from here.
Mind
just-
you, it's the middle of not middle. It's the middle of winter, the dead of winter, and you're like,
Charles, I would take the shovel and I would shovel myself a square to practice ollieing until my ears and nose were like frozen off. And I would just be like, no, I'm not coming in.
That's
And I would
great.
they're like, dude, get inside.
See, because I had a summer birthday, I could save summer gifts so I'd be like bike birthday, or whatever, something like that birthday. And then like Christmas would be more. I don't remember, like I remember toys. The only toys I remember specifically being like, this is what I want. Prior to my video game era, once I got into my video game era, it was like forget about it. I was all video game all the time. But before then, it was like I was in my Ninja Turtle phase. I was just like whatever new fucking way they had Ninja Turtles holding a damn sword, I needed it.
Yeah.
Because it was different from how this Ninja Turtle action figure holds it. So with this one, the shell opens up. With this one, I mean, they made so much money.
That is a dream job of being the brainstorm guy at Mattel, where you just go like, yeah, let's make a G.I. Joe guy with a football helmet. Let's make a G.I. Joe guy called Cobra that does, Ninja Turtles riding skateboards, Ninja Turtles eating pizza. Ninja Turtles driving a car.
Yeah.
Ninja Turtles that are doing judo. Oh, Olympic Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Didn't matter.
Breakdancing Ninja Turtles.
Breakdancing. Yeah, and they spin on the shell.
Yeah.
Dude, what a dream gig.
Yeah.
Josh Baskin's job in Big. He just goes, I don't get it. So it's a building that turns into a bug. I don't get who wants to play with a building. Oh God, I love that movie so much. But anyway,
great. That movie is great.
You said something that unlocked a thought, and now I'm trying to. This is what happens when you're old. It went
video
away.
Games you sparked up. I don't know.
Video
if that
games.
Was it.
Video games. Yes. Did you ever ask for a video game? Did we talk about this? You ask for a video game and you get the wrong one.
Yes, we did. You asked.
I got
for
Spelunker.
Yeah, you asked for Double Dragon or something, and you got Splunker.
Splunker, yeah. So I want to ask you this: when you would get a gift that you didn't like, when you were at your aunt's or at your grandparents or at your whatever, in front of your parents, all eyes on you, you open a gift and it sucks with a capital S.
Yeah.
What was how'd you react? Bring me through.
Say thank you.
That's it.
That's it.
So,
you give them, hug and a kiss if it's an aunt or something.
Okay.
Thank you, Aunt so and so, and you just go back to business.
Okay. Now, I have to ask you something because I'm a very wear my emotions on my face, even as a kid.
Yeah.
If I got something that I was excited about, I showed it.
Right.
So if I got something I wasn't excited about, I felt like I had to pretend like I gave a shit because I'd hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
So are you telling me you didn't get excited about anything?
No, but I got excited about the things that they all knew. There's certain gifts that you can get a kid where if they've been asking for that for the past 6 months, they're going to get excited about that thing. So I don't think anybody was like, but you didn't do that with the socks I gave you. It's just like, come on, friend. What are you crazy? So like the adults leveled their expectations based on, what the gift was. But I had enough presence of mind, or maybe I was just afraid of a swift kick in the ass, to be very grateful
Of course.
With everybody for whatever gifts I got. So I made sure,
All
whoever it was from, there was a big hug and a thank you and a such and such and yada yada.
You go, oh my God, pencils. Thank you so much, cousin boring.
Exactly.
I had an aunt, dude, that I still do, but when I was a kid, I was in high school. I think I was like 17. I'll always laugh with my mom about this. I opened up a gift. She was always a little whatever. I mean, into my adult years, I got like gift cards, and then I'd go to use the gift card, and it had like $4.21 on it or whatever.
Reused gift cards.
I know. She was like, shit, I forgot Mike's coming, and then just
Yeah.
I got a shirt one time that I'm junior, senior in high school, and I got a shirt that was like a boy's medium, and it said sports, and it just had like a little fat kid kicking a nondescript ball, just like a red amorphous ball.
Yeah.
And it was just like, but it was like one of them like Cabbage Patchy looking dumb kids with the red painted. It was like a Raggedy Ant, but I mean, literally it wouldn't have fit me when I was 8.
Yeah.
But I opened it and I'm like, is this a gag? Like I held it up and I'm like, oh, I go, hey, thanks. And she's like, I hope you like it. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And I looked at my mom and I'm like, what? And that was it. Like there was no like, I gotcha. Here's your real gift. Yeah, I just got like a boy's t-shirt. And I was like, is she wrapping her kids' clothes and like giving it to like, and she's not old enough that it was like some senility or like.
Yeah. I was wondering.
She was like young and normal. No. And I'm just like, the fuck? Why am I getting. It's so weird, dude. And I'll never forget that. Like it just was a generic, it just said sports.
But it did make an impression on you. Maybe that was our goal.
Yeah, well then she's like a sage because 30 some odd years later I'm laughing about it with you.
Mike's never going to forget this one.
No. She's done a lot of things I'll never forget. But it's just hilarious. But I would get like $1.91 like Tommy K's video gift card or whatever, and they're like, "Oh, you owe $3," and I'm like, wait, what? No, this is a brand new Christmas present. And
they're like, no, it isn't.
No, it's not. It was a brand new Christmas present in 1986.
We don't even make these gift cards anymore. You don't think we're even honoring this?
Yeah, it's so wild. Now it's Christmas night. Now we've gotten home. The family's gone. Whatever. We're gonna squeeze in maybe like 1 or 2 more movies into our Christmas celebration. Okay. There's 2 movies we haven't talked about yet that I want to ask you about. One is a classic. One's an all-time classic.
Mm-hmm.
And one I would consider to be, and I know it's old now, kind of, to some people, maybe they grew up with it, but it's newer to us. First of all, It's a Wonderful Life as the classic.
Yes.
Do you love it?
Not only do I love it, it's a family tradition, as it is with many families around the world, but it's definitely a family tradition in the McBee household, to the point where we do have it somewhere on DVD back when DVDs were a thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like we properly wait for it to come on like TV, and then we stop what we're doing and we watch it. And I don't care if we catch it in the middle of the movie. I don't care if we happen to catch it after he's already dead or never been born or whatever. And I don't care if it's the last scene where he's like, we stop what we're doing up and we rock out. It is a tradition. I know it front to back, in and out. Loved it ever since I was a kid. I mean, it was just one of those things. Love Jimmy Stewart.
Yeah,
I know the whole backstory of how it got made. Like the whole thing it's great. It's great.
And again, it kind of is like it's a spin-off. It's a loose telling of A Christmas Carol, right? Kind of, sort of visited by a ghost with Clarence the angel, and he comes down and saves him from drowning and all that. And so there's a little bit of it where it's like you get a glimpse of life without you in it, and how everything's changed, and now it's Pottersville.
How you affect other people, and
right?
all that kind of
and you
stuff.
may not even know it, right? Like and I loved him, and I felt bad for him. And growing up, I watched it and was kind of like, Yeah, man, I'm with him. I'm shaking the dust of this one-horse town, and I'm going to see the world.
Bro,
I'm going to see the world.
When I tell you there's so many lessons that you learn from it at different phases of your life. I'm Sam Altright, or whatever his last name was.
Wainwright.
Wainwright. Hee-haw, motherfucker. Hee-haw. You stay here and fucking save this town.
You said Sam Alt-right.
Yeah, Alt-right. He might have been listen, he might have been. I don't know.
No, you're Sam All-right. That's who you
Sam
are.
All-right. Bro, go live your dreams, do whatever you got to do. Because I feel like everybody puts everything on George as far as just like he did the right thing, which, morally speaking, yeah, he had a good heart. But sometimes doing that to fucking kick your ass, man.
Well, I mean, look what happened to him. I mean,
exactly. You got to do what's best for you, man.
Yeah,
follow your dreams, follow your heart. Don't live up to everyone else's expectations of what you're supposed to do with your life. If you want to live, it's a wonderful life. Yeah, when you fucking follow your heart and do what you're meant to do. Don't listen to what everyone else says you're supposed to do.
Well, you're right. You're 100% right. And that's very true. And that is one way to look at it. But I will say, you are leaving the town you grew up in, and your parents own the building and loan, and Uncle Billy loses the money like an alcoholic or whatever the hell. Remember that?
Yeah,
all that shit. But no, like, everything's breaking down. You got all this money, and you're about to go on your around the world vacation, and you just see shit hitting the fan. They're like, "What's going on at the building and loan?" Are you, as Charles, all right, able to go, fuck it, peace, I'll send you a postcard? When you're there, when you're laying on the beach in Bora Bora, are you able to enjoy yourself? Or are you going, I wonder if my town is in flames right now?
Would I have been able to enjoy myself? I'm not sure, but I will say this. Sam did tell him to invest with him in what did he invest in? I forget what it was.
I don't remember.
Whatever it was. He was like, remember I told you
Bitcoin,
to invest in
I think, Haktua. Haktua bucks.
He was like, plastics, George. Plastics.
Non-recyclable plastics,
Non-recyclable. George. No, you're right. That was a pivotal moment where he was about to go. Well, he was about to go on his honeymoon, but there were other times prior to that, like when his brother was supposed to come back after he got out of the army and take over while George went in, because he was supposed to, before he even got married, he was supposed to go off to do whatever he was going to do. I think he was going to go to school or something he was going to do. Yeah. And his brother
study buildings and architecture.
Yeah, architecture. And his brother fucked him over. Nah, they wouldn't have called it fucked him over, but he fucked him over. And he was like, I was going to tell you, I got married.
I think he went to the army and became a hero and played football and got married.
I'd have been like, I would have told him. I would have punched him in the ribs and be like, hey, fuck you, pal. I held it down.
I would have broke his throwing hand.
Yeah. I held it down while you went off and did your thing. Now
my turn.
The deal was, et cetera, et cetera. But so yeah, I understand that point of like, would I be able to live myself while the town is in flames? But I also feel like while everyone else is getting to go off and do what they do, why does the burden have to rest on my shoulders for this entire fucking town?
Agreed. And it's one of those things where he has it in him to do the right thing. Even as a child, when the alcoholic or the drunk pharmacist almost poisons someone, and he goes, no, this is the wrong stuff. And then the guy smacks the shit out of his bad ear, and his ear starts bleeding, and he's like, oh my God. And then he's like, I'm sorry, kid.
I'm so sorry,
kid. He like dove in the water. Didn't he like to saved
his brother?
Yes. I mean, he's always the hero, but he's
always.
But look what happens. He loses his hearing, right? He saves the building and loan and saves Beacon Falls. I don't remember the town.
Bedford Falls.
Bedford Falls. He's like, Merry Christmas, Bedford Falls. And he's running around. He's always saving everybody else, but he gets, hosed in the long run.
Exactly.
Now, he goes, "I'm better off dead." Right? Gets punched by the guy who the man when he shakes Mr. Potter's hand.
Yeah,
And
and
Mr.
it looks like
Potter's like
hand.
that's slimy. He goes, "No, no, no, no! It's wrong! It's wrong!" And he starts freaking out. And he's like, "You sit here and you wave your money in front of everybody and blah, blah, blah." That was like such a that was like a Rocky moment. It's like, fucking flip his fucking wheelchair over, dude. Like, I hated Mr. Potter.
You know what I appreciate now? I kind of appreciate it then, but not so much. But now, as someone who is an adult, someone who's single, and someone who is, open to love when it
hear that,
when it's out
ladies?
there. That's right. Mary held it the fuck
Mary
down, bro.
She was behind every good man. There's a good woman.
Ride or die, bro. Took the fucking piece of shit
house
scaffolding,
putting up wallpaper,
made it talk about turning a house into a home.
Dealing with fucking Zuzu and her allergies.
Zuzu and her daggone allergies.
And the other kid playing the piano, and every kid's reading. But they have 4 kids, 9 kids. They were just hammering it out. Yeah, but you're right. She was like the best. Never complained. Never. And then she called people when George flew off the handle and was like, "Yo, George is in trouble." And everyone's like, "Who? The guy who has literally like cut his veins and like fed the whole town with his life."
Yeah.
And she got that dumpy house that was originally like just full of holes. And remember,
you used to throw rocks at it.
Yeah. And she goes, "Joe, what do you want me to do? You want to lasso the moon and pull it down and put it in your pocket?" And she's like, just wants him to be happy, but he's in his own head and whatever. And then he goes through that whole mental crisis, right? And Clarence the Angel, who I love. Clarence was great. Clarence was great. So whoever acted in that, whatever his name was, one time, I don't know anything else he was in, but holy shit, he was good. You know?
He was perfect.
And like, I can't wait to watch that this year, actually, now that we're talking about it, because it's just so good. And but when he's standing there and the whole town shows up with all this money, and they just give him all the money, right? And then his brother, and every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings, little Zuzu, and he goes, "That's right, that's right." He goes, "Attaboy, Clarence," and and then his brother goes, "To my brother George, the richest man in town." Now, what do you do with that money now that you got these snot-nosed little brats running around? You can't go to Paris. You can't go to whatever.
Well, no. Well, he had to pay the money he owed, right?
I know.
The money that Potter stole. He had that had to.
So It's a Wonderful Life Part 2 it's in February, and he's still shoveling the driveway, and he's like,
he goes back. He's just not going to prison now.
That's basically it.
And basically it's even. He just has a different perspective on life.
Yeah, I guess
that's pretty much what it is. Because I don't know how much fucking money. If he's smart, he'd go into business with Sam.
Yeah, now he's going with Sam alt-right and selling some wind farms or some shit.
Something, man.
Amazing movie. Movie.
You can't beat that movie, man. It's just such a good film. It's great. I could talk about it all day.
Well, can I ask you about another one that I have? It is immediately, since the moment I watched it, blown my mind, and it's become one of my all-time favorites now.
All right.
The Polar Express.
Polar Express. Oh, I'm not as familiar. Of course, I've seen it, but maybe I should watch it again, because I remember when it came out, I thought the animation was like ahead of its time. I was like, holy shit. But I didn't fall in love with. I don't recall falling in love with like the story, but maybe I have to watch it again. Put me up on game.
I'm a big Tom Hanks fan, and he is the narrator. He's also the conductor. He's like whatever.
Right?
Huh?
He's played a bunch of characters.
He's
right?
everybody. Yeah. He's the hobo that lives above the train, and I know that's not a good word, but I think in the thing that's what he was.
Yeah.
He's the unhoused that lives on the train roof, whatever the hell you want to call him. He's got gloves with like the cut off fingers, and he drinks out of a tin cup, and he's like a old train riding
those gloves at like
vagabond
Zara and like H&M.
Yeah,
like,
seriously. Yeah. It's like, or you just buy a dollar store gloves and cut the dang tips off. But there's a couple of things I really like about this movie, right? Like, first of all, like there's this depth of sound where it's just like when you take like so he doesn't believe, the kiddo doesn't believe in Christmas anymore. Basically, he thinks that Santa, like he's got newspapers in a box that says like Santa Claus might be fake and blah blah blah, right? And he's at that moment. This is the night where it's like it's Christmas Eve. He's going to bed. Is Santa real or is it his parents? I feel like someone at school maybe tipped him off that Santa's not real. So he goes to bed and has like a massive psychedelic experience where all of a sudden, like the bed starts to shake.
What is up? What is down?
What is going on here? And then the Polar Express stops at his front yard, and he gets out, and he's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And they're like, "Oh, are you so and so? Let's go. Here's your ticket. We're going to the North Pole." And it's like pop, 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 and he's just on the train with other kids that I don't know if they're just having like a rough time or they need to be like
like Santa Scared Straight.
Kind of, yeah. It's like Survivor meets Scared Straight meets like the real world. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, you're totally in Santa Scared Straight.
You don't believe in Santa?
You don't believe in Santa? Huh? I'm an elf, bitch. You think anybody else is gonna hire me? He goes on this trip to the North Pole. And the ride is harrowing, and everything that this kid touches falls apart, and he like almost loses his friend's ticket, this cute girl that gets on, and there's a poor child that Christmas just never comes for him. Okay. He just is on the wrong side of the tracks. And like, there's a couple kids that go, "Oh, we're going to that side of town." Right. Like literally. And they pick this kid up, and he's like so mortified that there's other kids on this train. So he just goes and sits by himself in the back of the car. Quiet little scared kid. I love this kid. And they go to the North Pole. Sound is a huge thing in this movie, right? Like the visuals were cool, but the sounds were so neat, dude. Like when they get to the North Pole and they get to like the workshop and everything, they get lost, but you can hear like 10 rooms over Christmas songs playing and elves working and all of this. So it's like a really cool, like if you got a good like speaker system or like a good sound bar like on your TV or whatever, it's incredible movie to watch. The visuals are great, but the sound was badass is what my point is. And he's shaking a Christmas bell and he can't hear it, right? And that was basically the symbol that I don't believe in Santa anymore, right? Then Santa brings him a bell and he hands it to him because he won, like he gets the first gift or something like that. And he shakes it and finally he can hear it. So he's like, he got his Christmas juice back. You know what I mean? A little bit. Now, killer movie. I'm paraphrasing just because I don't want to like ruin it for whatever. Now he goes home, right? And on the ride back to his house, the little kid, the poor kid, right? He gets dropped off first. Charles, I weep like a fucking baby every time I see this part of the movie. The poor kid runs into the house, comes running out, and puts a gift over his head. And he's like, Santa came. And it was like his whole beef with Christmas was that he never got gifts, maybe because he's poor, you know? But this year, Santa brought him a gift and he goes running out and everyone on the train goes, look. And they're so happy for him that he got a gift and he's holding it over his head. And I just go like, like every time I watch it, I just get so happy for that little kid. And that to me was like I think the thing that bums me out a lot about Christmas is that like a lot of people get nothing. So it's like that to me was like, it just hit a thing. And I was like, oh man. And I remember watching it like with other people, like for the first time. And I was like, huh? Just like it's like, oh man, has anybody else got something in their eye right now? And I was just like, oh my God, just weeping. But he gets home and he opens his gifts and whatever. He lost his Christmas bell. He had a hole in his bathrobe, right? So he lost the Christmas bell. And there's one more gift for him. And he goes, oh, this is weird. I don't remember this one. And he gets it and he opens it in front of his parents. And he rings it and his sister rings it and they can hear it. So they believe in Christmas. The parents go, it's broken. and put it down. So like they can't hear it, but he can.
Yeah.
And it's this whole thing of like, stay young, as we say here at Are We Old?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's very like a time thing. And you should give it another watch. I think you'd really like it.
All right. I'm going to do it. I'm going to dive in.
That's the thing I think that gets me with Christmas is just like, I hope everybody's having a, okay time. I had some shitty ones. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
everybody does.
Yeah, I think that's just life, but it does for me, it makes it that much more intentional that I try to really like, volunteer, reach out, like really do those things, because I'm going to be honest, like I used to look at it as like I don't know what the word is, not performative, maybe a little bit performative, or maybe just a little bit of just like, oh, it's just something you do around the holidays. You might volunteer at a shelter or this, because like even like growing up, my family, we do like food drives and all that kind of stuff. But now, like as an adult, and you really see like life for what it is in totality, you really get to see how much that means to people when you give yourself and give your time and try to make someone else's, life or Christmas a little bit more manageable or a little better. So
even if it's just the notion of like, you're not alone. Like we brought you whatever, like my brother and I, like I have my younger brother's, I think like 10 years younger than me, 9 years younger than me. And we would go to like a women's shelter in like New Haven, and we would just like bring food and bring like, and just stay there and help, just volunteer. And it wasn't like a thing where it was like we had a specific thing to do. We were just there to like anything you need for us to help, like, like serve food or, bring the trash out or whatever. And that's how we would spend the morning of Christmas. I always kind of felt like this thing of like, and nothing against like church or whatever, but I'm like, I'd rather go do good things than sit and say words. Like I'd rather go act, you know what I mean? And that just made me feel like at least we're giving something back, you know what I mean? So, but I'm with you on that. There is that nice thing, and man, we need it. We need it. Man. This year we got to get like, just smile at people and be nice to each other and slow down and don't beep. And sometimes it's what you don't do,
there you go.
You know what I mean?
There you go. There's what you don't. Sometimes it's what you don't say.
What you don't do. What you don't do. Well, Charles, this concludes our 4-week nostalgia dive into the joyous season of Christmas. I'm very grateful for you and for our listeners and for this podcast.
Same, man. Oh, can I throw one, since you
throw it?
So you dove into that. My favorite Christmas TV kind of thing, Steve Martin's Saturday Night Live, his Christmas countdown. If what was it? If I could have anything in the world, it would be for all the children of the world to have world peace. And then he named like a bunch of different things. He'd be like, oh, wait a minute, but then I wouldn't need that. Oh, wait, okay, no, let me start over again. And then he'd be like, oh, wait, I forgot death on all my enemies. All right, I want all my enemies to die and burn like pigs in hell. And of course, for all the children of the world. Oh my God, even as a kid, bro, that might be the thing that launched me into wanting to be a comedian.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I remember watching that as a kid. Like, obviously, it was like a rerun by then, or it was like whatever, I saw it. But and back then, there was no YouTube, so I would just catch it. It would be some SNL best of or something, and I would just be dying because I got even as a kid, I got the sarcasm, I got the performance, the everything. And Steve Martin, like Tom Hanks is for you, and Tom Hanks is for me too. He's up there as one of my favorites of all time. But Steve Martin is
me too.
Like top 2 maybe.
Yeah,
actors, comedic actors,
the absolute best. Yeah, I love him with all my heart. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Thank you so much. And we will see you next year.
Peace.